All right. Welcome, everyone, to episode 10 of the Fanatics, a college football betting podcast. Had some scheduling mix-ups today, but we just decided we got two people who can talk college football. Let's talk college football. So we got two guys ready to roll. Let's just get right to it. My name is Kyle Comas, and joining me, we have the CEO of the Coda Sports Gambling Network, Mr. Pace Meyer. Pace, how are we doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I thought we weren't going to get a show in this week, but hey, we're sticking to the grind, and I'm excited. It was a crazy week, week 8, and college football just keeps moving along, Kyle. So it's going to be a nice little 1-2 punch with you and I here.
Yeah, absolutely. When was the last time we've done a 1-2 punch here, Pace? We used to do the early morning
Yeah,
betting show if you were into the podcast from its inception.
yeah. That's probably the last time. Honestly, I remember doing that. That's always fun. We did that live on Facebook, and I think it was on YouTube. So probably then. I think it seems so long ago. We've known each other actually for quite a little while now. That's what's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it's also just crazy to see like how much the network's grown. I still and I tell DJ this all the time. I still remember that gambling group chat that has 16 people in it now. It was four of us at one point. It was you, me, DJ, and B-Russ, and it's just grown to be like how many people?
Yeah, simpler times, Matt. Simpler times when it was just us four.
Yeah,
It's good though. It's good that we have all those guys. So
and I looked at the charts, Pace, and you'd be surprised at the inception of the network when there was just four of us. The blog numbers were pretty high. As soon as we started adding people, just went whoop.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. We're reading between the lines there. I think a little bit.
Oh
So
yeah, but yeah, I love it. But yeah, we're gonna have a great show here. We're gonna kind of change things up a little bit. We're not gonna do a snake draft this week. We're gonna change it up. So we're gonna start the show as always. I got a trivia question for Pace, and we'll see if Pace can nail this one here. But and I know you're due to get a trivia question right though, Pace.
I'm so due. But man, if it's only me against the panel, the trivia panel, I'm doomed. We're doomed here.
Well, we'll see if you can get it. I think you might be able to get this one. So I got to thinking about this one. I keep thinking about Ashton Jeanty and how he's still my front runner for the Heisman. So I got to thinking about that. He currently right now is on pace to pass Barry Sanders' single season record if he continues the trend he's on, which is
Yeah,
crazy to think about.
crazy. He's plus 200 Kyle right now to win the Heisman, I believe. So
I want to know what his preseason odds were.
yeah, I'm looking at Bet MGM right now, and it says it's off the board right now. Not a while back. I don't know, probably 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. I did see it at like plus 23, 2400. So again, I don't know. I mean, he was by far probably the best running back, right, on the board preseason. You would think at least close one or two. So, but yeah, just crazy considering even too what Jalen Milroe looked like last week too, and some other quarterbacks. Carson Beck, he threw 3 picks even though they won.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, he's going to New York, and he's got to be a lock to win.
I think the same thing, especially if he can pass Barry Sanders' record. And we'll talk about something with that in a moment. But the trivia question I got for you, Pace, is the closest running back to ever nearly beat Barry Sanders, so basically second on the single season record, was this running back that did it in 2014. So who's the closest running back to ever nearly beat Barry Sanders' record? Again, it was in 2014. So,
2014. Okay.
yep. So I'll give you time to think about it really quick while I do our ad read. The Fanatics College Football Betting Podcast is sponsored by Better Edge. Better Edge is a social betting marketplace that is legal in 45 states and operates like a marketplace. How does that work? Let me use an example here. Let's use the Missouri-Alabama game being played this weekend. One person on the platform likes Alabama money line and places $10 on that line. Another person on the platform likes Tennessee money line and places $10 on that line. Boom, you now got an exchange because it's person to person and not person to sports book. That's what makes it legal in 45 different states. A lot of sports books you'll go to, they'll have betting odds that are really juiced, but at Better Edge, it's minus 100, plus 100. It keeps it competitive for all the users, and you get a much higher payback as well. They also have several different competitions such as Battle Royale, Survivor, Chaser, a lot of things to keep things competitive for the users. And it also incorporates social media. People can go on the platform, post their picks to the timeline for their followers to see, and they can fade them to create an order or tail them and hope another person gets an order. But we love everything about Better Edge. Go to their website, www.betteredge.com. Use promo code Kyle, Corey, Pace, Play Me, any of those promo codes, you'll get $20 out of your account. Again, you put money in, you get an extra $20 back. That's what we love about it. www.betteredge.com. So Pace, again, the trivia question I had for you is, who is the closest running back to nearly beat Barry Sanders' single season rushing record? It was a running back that did it in 2014.
Okay, so I can't remember. I'm trying to think. Adrian Peterson comes to my mind. I don't know if that's correct, but I'm going to go AP.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, it was a running back who ended up being a Heisman Trophy runner-up
Okay.
2014, but it was Wisconsin running back Melvin Gordon.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. I figured
41
he was
yards away.
yeah, I figured AP was a little older than 2014. So yeah. Okay. Hey,
Yep. So
I'm due. I'm still due, Kyle. I'm still due.
you got the what was it? The Heisman, no, the biggest victory in FBS history when you said Georgia Tech over Cumberland. You do have that one under your belt. So
That's true. That I actually printed a plaque out. It's in the office here. So, that I hold that near and dear to my heart.
oh, that's great. Yeah, that's the trivia question. Let me know what you guys all thought about that. But yeah, Pace, I guess before we kind of dive into the games for week 9, like you said, a lot of crazy stuff happened last week. So let's just dive right in. There's just a lot to talk about. Anything really stand out to you last week?
I think running backs kind of stood out to me. ETN for Georgia had 3 touchdowns. You had the Samson kid from Tennessee. He had 2 touchdowns, 139. The kid from LSU, the Dunham kid, he had 3 touchdowns and 101 yards. So I think it was a big week for running backs, in my opinion. Again, one thing that kind of sticks out to my mind is the Georgia Texas game. The call that got called, then it got called back, and then the water bottles, and then it was a disaster. Again, just Carson Beck throwing 3 picks, and then them still winning by 15 points. Shout out that defense. That defense that we talked about preseason. They came to play against Texas on the road, and now you look at the SEC standings, and what you have LSU and Texas A&M as the only undefeated teams in the SEC. That's kind of crazy considering what happened to Texas A&M. In that Week 1 game against Notre Dame there. So I know it's not an SEC game, but how far they've come. So and then Clemson too. I know we've dogged on Clemson before, but Clemson just continues to look like a wagon. And a couple other wagons that I wouldn't mind hitching my my cart to is Army and Navy too. That game's going to be really fun. I actually did just hear too or read yesterday that game when they play won't be a conference game or like won't have any conference implications. So I know they're undefeated in the conference, so that's kind of interesting too when those two teams do duel off. That won't have any conference implications. Just in the eyes of the nation of the national media of who's better and things like that. So yeah, a great slate last week. Every week, Kyle, it seems like just keeps getting better, and to have the playoff this year is phenomenal. I just can't wait. I'm hoping for a great playoff, but I don't want to hope too soon because I want it to slow down. We're already in week 9 here. It's crazy.
Yeah, it feels like just last week we were starting the preview show.
Yeah.
Like it's just gone by so quick. But yeah, I agree with you. And yeah, every single week there's just been really, really great games. A couple games you didn't mention. Tennessee beating Alabama. That was crazy. Milroe actually kind of concerning how he played. Made some bad decisions down the stretch there. I know that interception in the red zone, that one-handed one, not necessarily his fault. But when you have a chance to go and win the game, go and tie the game, throw a bad interception there under pressure. I don't know. I had a Milroe Heisman ticket. I was feeling pretty good about that. Not feeling so good about it right now. But
that was a good game too.
Yeah, that was one that really stood out to me. I know we dog on this team quite a bit here on this show, but Colorado just pounded the piss out of Arizona last week. Holy shit.
Yeah, and Arizona, I was big on them too with the quarterback and the wide receiver duo that they have too, but they just haven't really looked great. And now Colorado, nobody's talking about Dion in Colorado, right? So I think they like it that way, that not the national media is talking about them. Seemed like they were talking about them more when they were losing, and now that they're winning and nobody's talking about them. So again, I think that only benefits the Colorado squad.
Absolutely. And I think one thing to note about that Colorado squad too is Travis Hunter's a hell of a player. He's going to be a top 5 pick. Absolutely deserves to be a Heisman nominee in my opinion, just for what he's doing on both offense and defense. and just being great on both sides of the ball. And people are going to say, "Oh, Kyle, all you do is just talk highly about Ashton G&T. You're just an G&T fan." But like, I at first wasn't, but I became one. So just note that too. But Travis Hunter going on that podcast and saying, if I had 95 catches compared to his 95 rushes, I'd be a Heisman runner too. That's apples and oranges. That's not even the same type of comparison. So I get Travis Hunter just trying to up his ego and up his brand and try to get him like Heisman votes and stuff like that. But you can't compare receptions to rushes. It's just not the same thing.
Yeah, 100% agree. And Travis Hunter here too, Kyle. Plus 1,800 to win the Heisman. You open up at plus 3,500. So you got Ashton Jeanty plus 200, Cam Ward plus 240, Dylan Gabriel plus 400, and then it drops off. But Travis Hunter is that fourth one in that group. So yeah, I do agree. It's apples to oranges. So it's just talk, right? It's just chatter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, for sure. And then yeah, we talked about Georgia, Texas. I think that's crazy. That's crazy though. And I'm glad Corey's not on this show because he would have came on and say, "I told you guys about Carson Beck. I told you guys about Carson Beck." Oh my God, he looked horrible in that game.
Yeah, I would just respond if he was that just, hey, Nebraska. What happened to Nebraska last week? 56-7. Indiana, man, they hit their win total already, and I was of course on the under. I was actually fairly big on their under. I think it was 5.5. Didn't last very long, and Indiana looks like a wagon too, but things are going to change there. Their starting quarterback, I think, had thumb surgery, so I think he's out for the season. So now it's adversity. How can this Indiana squad face some adversity here, being 7-0 and 4-0 in the Big Ten?
Yeah, exactly. And if you would have told me too at the beginning of the season that Week 9 College Game Day was going to go to Washington, Indiana, I would have laughed in your face. I think that's just so crazy.
I know. I would have, if I would have saw that, I'd be like, come to North Dakota State or something. Come to an FCS program. You don't want to go there, but heck, here we are. I mean, Indiana looks good. So again, it'll just be interesting to see without their quarterback just how they respond here this week. So, and I
Yeah.
got the NDSU hat in the back too. We didn't touch on them, but Pumbaa and I had boots on the ground there. South Dakota State, NDSU 1v2 in FCS. Very low scoring game. Very fun, entertaining game. The Fargo Dome. I was hoping to be a little bit, rockier, a little bit rowdier than it was, but hey, it's just good to get the Dakota marker back and get a win against South Dakota State there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we don't talk about FCS games very often on the show. That was a great 13-9 was the final. Did I
Yeah, very very low scoring game. And hey, those are sometimes the best games because one play is going to be the difference. So you gotta be on your toes every single play.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, I think you said it best, Pace. Great slate of college football, and I just hope it continues to get great, so that way the playoff can be the best that we've seen. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every week's impressed me from the last. So let's see what we can get here in week 9.
yep, absolutely. Well, yeah, so let's just dive right in. So we're gonna do something a little different this week. Obviously, with two people doing a betting snake draft, probably wouldn't be that much fun because first of all, if Pace stole my pick, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, we would probably steal a couple of picks and it would just go downhill. So I think we got a good plan here for this week.
Yep, absolutely. So rather than do that, if you follow either myself, Pace, or Mr. Action Junkie on Twitter, it's X now, but I'm always going to call it Twitter. If you follow one of us three on Twitter, we every now and then put out Twitter Spaces Saturday morning, and basically what we do is we just go straight down the card and we just break down as many games as we can. And that's just kind of what we're going to do this week. We're going to just go through as many games as we can. We're not going to go too deep in the weeds with games, but any game really that stands out, we're just going to talk. We're just going to talk about it and see what we got. But yeah, Pace, let's just get right to it. So this show is going to come out on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so good. So we don't have to talk about Liberty, Kennesaw State, or Middle Tennessee, Jacksonville State. I'm glad we don't got to talk about either of those games. We got two games on Thursday. We got Georgia Southern and Old Dominion. Georgia Southern 5-2 underdogs in this game to Old Dominion. They're 2-point underdogs. I think that's pretty crazy. And then we got Syracuse and Pitt. That's going to be a really good ACC game. Pitt is favored by 6. It looks like right now, total at 62.5. Any of those two games really stand out to you at all?
Old Dominion. I don't hate them at home. I know. I looked at Georgia Southern. I'm like, hammer Georgia Southern. Why are they underdogs here on the road, 5-2, 3-0 in the Sun Belt? But I've watched a little Old Dominion and don't hate their style of play. So I like Old Dominion at home there, -2. Not a favorite play of mine, but if you're asking me right now, Kyle, I'd take them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. I personally would have gone Georgia Southern, but I kind of agree with you on that it really could go either way. It's probably gonna be a no bet for me just because I don't have a great read on that game. But boy, I want to take Syracuse +6 really, really
Oh,
badly here.
I do too. I do too.
It almost just seems like too good though.
I
But
know. I
because
wish it
Syracuse is
was.
a great team, but Pitt at home and Pitt 6-0. The hell. I'm gonna bet Syracuse. I'm gonna bet it. I'm gonna bet Syracuse +6.
All right, all right. Thank you. You took it, so I'll stay away. But yeah, I like Syracuse in that one too. So Pitts looked really strong. McCord's looked really strong too. I know he's doing a couple interceptions here as of late for Syracuse, but this just kind of feels like a 3-point type of game to me. So I like that Syracuse pick.
Yeah, and McCord's actually looked really good. I think that I remember when he first transferred to Syracuse, we all kind of laughed at him like he's going from Ohio State to Syracuse. That move has helped him quite a bit, though. I think
Oh yeah,
so.
he's looked phenomenal. 19 touchdowns, 6 picks, over 2,100 yards. He's looked good there for Syracuse.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that'll do it for the action going on tonight. Let's go to Friday night. We got three games. We got ACC match between Louisville and Boston College. Louisville 7.5 point favorites. Really, really good Mountain West game, and I mean a really good Mountain West game. Boise State going to UNLV. Boise State favored by 3, total at 65.5. And then we got Rutgers going to USC. Rutgers, who many people thought were a powerhouse in the Big Ten, 14-point underdogs to USC, total at 56.5. Any of those three games really stand out to you?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a hard play, but I do like Boise State on the road there in Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. I just think that they're the more well-rounded team, especially defensively a little bit, just special teams, just kind of all around. So I think it's a good number here. I was looking at the over potentially, but Boise State's kind of cooled down a little bit to the over. So I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to take Boise State again. If you're following us for our plays, again, I just want to let the people know this is more of a heart play than a head play, but that's because I'm a Boise State guy here, Kyle. So I got to go with the Broncos. I got to go with the
There we
Broncos.
go.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
There's the logo.
There's the
Okay.
logo. Yep. Yep.
I
So
would say people could have just thought that was any logo. They could have thought you were shooting for Air Force or something like that.
yeah, I'm cheering for Georgia Southern actually. Yeah, here we go.
There,
Here we
there
go.
it is. Yeah, I knew that's why you were betting on them.
Yep, yep. So I also like Boston College, and I'm actually probably going to sprinkle Boston College on the money line too. Just a little sprinkle. Louisville coming off that high scoring affair against Miami. Now you got to go on the road to take on BC. Tougher place to play, and I think this is a little of a higher number for me, so I might sprinkle BC on the money line on this one too. So
Yeah, you read my mind. I like Boston College there too. I think they're just well coached. Bill O'Brien really has them in a really good position, and I think that even though they've kind of been in a decline a little bit, I think Louisville has two. So I think that they can be within a touchdown. I like that. I like that pick too. Um, Yeah, that Boise State UNLV game, I'm probably not going to touch because I could very well see UNLV winning at home. I like Hodge Malik Williams. Obviously, I like Ashton Jeanty and what Boise State's doing. So I'm probably not going to touch that game because I don't really have that great of a read on it. But USC, they lost to Maryland last week. I know Rutgers has kind of been in a downhill, but I don't see USC beating them by more than two touchdowns. I just don't. So I'm definitely going to be on Rutgers for this game, I think.
yeah, that's probably a strong play. I'm staying away. I was big on USC coming in the year. I was like, holy crap, like it's looking really good. And now kind of the wheels have started to fall off down there for USC. So going to stay away from there. I did want to mention too, Kyle. I know in our group chat we always kind of dog on the ACC a little bit and things like that. But if you look at the ACC standings, you have 6 teams there. I believe it's 6 teams that have one loss or fewer. So if you look at some of these other conferences, I know you're starting to beat up on some of your conference opponents, things like that, especially SEC and in the Big Ten, Big 12. But the ACC, they're pretty top heavy here. So we like to dog on them. I know there's some guys that like to, but the ACC looking pretty strong right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say too, if we're talking kind of just about like just overall thus far. I don't know. I think the Big 12 was really kind of down this year. I'm not as big on the Big 12 as I had been in years past. I'm not going to put them above the ACC by any means, but I don't think people saying Big 12 is a notch above the ACC is correct in that matter. But
Yeah, I agree with that too. I just don't think a lot of people had BYU sitting at the top either at 7-0, tied with Iowa State. So BYU, that's been a fun story. 11th in the nation. How cool would that be if they can get into the 12 team playoffs? So BYU 7-0, Iowa State 7-0, and you got K State, who is always at the top there at 6-1. So everybody else has 2 losses or more on that. And don't even want to talk about Utah. Man, have they fell off? They've pissed me off so much this year. I should have put them on my do not bet list when they lost to, was it Arizona? Was that Kyle?
mm-hmm.
I think Arizona.
Yep.
And then I went back to the well like a couple weeks later when Rising was back and he looked like trash too. So Utah, a DMB for me from here on out.
Yeah, I've been a big Rising supporter. You know that over the years. I've been a big he needs to get a job. I mean, college football is great and all, but at some point you just got to hang it up.
Yeah, I mean, and those are tough conversations to have, right, Kyle? So,
Oh yeah.
but at some point you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, all right, what insurance company am I going to next? You got to hang it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's our Friday games. Let's just dive into Saturday. We can go kind of one by one here and just really quick talk about any games that really stand out. Let's start with the 11 o'clock slate. Oklahoma, Ole Miss. Ole Miss favored by 20 over under 48.5. Not even touching this game. I don't want to touch this game, but any play for you at all for this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like OU just comes out and wins outright. To be honest, just kind of the way college football has gone this year. So probably no bet for me as well. I do hold the Jackson Dart Heisman ticket. 14 touchdowns, 3 picks, 23, almost 2,400 yards. So he's got to do some work here. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of see. Can OU slow Ole Miss down? I don't know, but this isn't a bet that I like.
Okay. Yep.
Or a game, I should say.
Yeah. Nope. I agree with that. Let's see. Like I said, I'm just going down the list here. Nebraska, Ohio State, 11 o'clock on Fox. Ohio State, 25.5 point favorites, over under 48.5. I really, really do want to say Nebraska can get within that, but how they played last week against Indiana, I just don't know. I really don't know. And Raiola's a freshman, so he's going to have some learning to do. But I just think going to Columbus, if he couldn't handle Bloomington, he ain't going to handle Columbus.
Yeah,
So,
you've never said anything more true there, Kyle. So the one thing Ohio State, if you're going to try and back them, potential, look ahead spot. They got Penn State, I think, in 2 weeks. So that's a big matchup for them there. So yeah, Nebraska can't look any worse, you would think, right? But just a weird number too, 25.5. I don't know how to feel about it. So staying away from this one for me.
okay. Yep. Sounds good. Let's see. 11 o'clock on ABC. We got number 12 Notre Dame going to number 24 Navy. Notre Dame favored by 12.5, total at 52.5. You might think I'm crazy here, Pace, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Navy plus 12.5. I'm also going to sprinkle them on the money line. I think they can win this game outright.
I don't know how I feel about this because I'm on the same side as you, Kyle. So usually when we're on the same side, bad things happen. I think there's some history there. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm Notre Dame hasn't really impressed me. Riley Leonard still 6 touchdowns, 3 picks. I mean, he hasn't looked super great. I know Notre Dame's bounced back obviously from that loss there, but heck, no one's giving Navy any credit, right? 6-0 at home here, 12.5 point dogs. This just kind of feels like a good spot for Navy on their home turf. So at MetLife Stadium there. So 12.5, I'll take that number. Plus 12.5, I'll take that number.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like if you look at Navy, their quarterback Harbath, he's passed 72 times, which again not very much, but that's a Navy offense. He's 48 for 72, pretty good. He's passed for almost 900 yards, 10 TDs to 1 INT. A lot of times these academy schools, their quarterbacks make really bad decisions. And that TD to INT ratio is really, really close, but he's doing a really good job there. And then he's also rushed for 621 yards and 10 TDs. So just add that on top of it. I mean, a lot of people should be talking more about him than what they are.
No, absolutely. And when you got that Navy game taking on what? Army, right? That's correct. Yeah. So,
Yep.
and I always feel like those are really low scoring games, right? Totals in the 30s. Well, these are two offenses that I think are in the top 10 in the nation in scoring. So maybe look at the over when these two teams square off here in a couple weeks. But I kind of thought that was interesting too. So Can Notre Dame slow down Navy's offense? I didn't think we'd be saying that preseason here going into this game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Uh, let's see here. So we talked about college game day going to Bloomington, Washington at Indiana at 11 o'clock on Big Ten Network. Indiana 6.5 point favorite, total 53.5. If Rourke was playing, I would be all over Indiana in this one. But I think with the backup QB, college game day, you got that pressure. I'm not going to bet Washington because I'm not big on Washington at all. I think I kind of was low on them when they came to the Big Ten, and I'm still pretty low on them. So this is probably going to be a stay away game for me. I might bet the under 53.5, but I certainly will not bet the spread at all.
Yeah, I'm down there with you too. You could also look like, hey, let's give Washington a chance, right? Let's give them a chance, see if they can knock off Indiana here. Indiana with all the hype, Washington coming in 2-2 in the Big Ten, facing a backup quarterback here. So again, I think there's a stay away from me too. But again, I would not be stunned if we're talking next week that Washington goes into Bloomington and upsets them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, for sure. Let's see. We got 11 o'clock in the ACC network. We got 5-3 Georgia Tech going to 4-3 Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech minus 10.5 and an over under 51.5. I think Virginia Tech wins this game, but 10.5 is just way too many points. I think Georgia Tech is still a pretty solid program, and I think they still got pretty solid guys on their offense, and their defense has been really good so far this year too. I think this game's gonna be a lot closer than 10.5. So I personally probably gonna bet Georgia Tech plus 10.5.
Yeah, is it King? Is he going to play? I think that's obviously the biggest question. I don't think he played last week, so just depends who's going to play quarterback for Georgia Tech. So to me, this almost feels like he's not going to play because it is 10.5. So just if you're looking at this game, keep an eye on out for that and look at those injury reports.
Yeah, it looks like their coach 3 hours ago said he has zero call on if Georgia Tech's Haynes King is ready to go. So that's making it sound like he's not going to play. So
yeah, if you don't have any call, I don't think he's going to play.
yeah. So I didn't realize that. I may shift my pick, but if he does play, I'm going to definitely be booking Georgia Tech there. So
yeah. So yeah, and that's the truest gamble right there, Kyle. Just take Georgia Tech and just hope King plays, and you'll have the best number come kickoff.
Absolutely. Or he doesn't play, and I have the worst number too.
That's true. The ultimate gamble. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see here. I'm just trying to find some good games here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just. I really don't like the rest of the 11 o'clock slate and the noon slate. So let's just dive right into the 2:30 slate. We got a great game, top 25 game on CBS. 6-1 Illinois, number 20, taking on the number one overall team in the country, Oregon at 7-0. Oregon 21.5 point spread, over under at 54.5. I don't know. I sound like Tony Romo there. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Gosh. Let me think about that one. What's your thought about this game?
Give me Oregon. I guess give me Oregon. They just look like the better team. I trust them a little more. Coming off that 32-30 win against Ohio State, they didn't look great offensively against Purdue there, but they still won 35 rips. So Indiana, they coming off that win against Michigan, 21-7. But I don't know. Just give me Oregon. I just trust them more in this spot, especially at home. Kind of feels like Oregon's kind of hitting their stride now. So this would be the time to jump on them, I feel like.
Yeah. I think that's more than fair. But Illinois has really impressed me so far this year. I would have never have thought that they would be 6-1 going in this game and even having a shot against Oregon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like they played Penn State decently. It was 21-7. They just couldn't get anything going offensively. So I mean, you can't knock that loss either. That's a good loss if we're looking at strength of resume and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm undervaluing Illinois here. I don't know, but I like Oregon.
Well, we'll guarantee one of us a winner here, and I'll take Illinois. I'll take Illinois plus 21.5.
All right, there we go. Someone's gonna win.
Someone's gonna win. Yep, that's gonna help either one of us. So I love it. Maybe explain this one to me, Pace, because I don't know if I'm missing something here, but just maybe you can explain it to me. BYU 7-0 going to UCF. UCF is favored -1.5 right now. Am I missing something here?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just Vegas just doesn't trust BYU. Even at undefeated 7-0. Yeah, I don't know. This is fishy, man. So when something's fishy, I usually take the side is the fishiest, right? So I'm taking UCF. Give me UCF at home.
I think I'm with you because I think this is the ultimate trap line.
Yeah.
I think Vegas is telling you what to bet, and
Yep.
they know something that we don't because everybody and their dog is going to look at that and say BYU 7-0, UCS 3-4. I'm going to take BYU plus money. Vegas is telling you what to bet right now, so I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah. I don't know. This might be a lock. We could maybe pencil this in a lock.
Ooh, okay, there we go.
All
There
right.
we go.
This should be a fun game too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll be a good one too. 2:30 on ESPN. I like that. Let's see. 2:30 on ABC, top 25 matchup. We got number 21, Missouri going to number 16, 15, Alabama on ABC again. Alabama minus 13 and a half and an over under 55 and a half. You might think I'm crazy here, Pace, but I think this is going to be a big bounce back week for Alabama. I think this Alabama team is still very solid. I still have a lot of hope in Jalen Milroe. Like Ryan Williams, their defense is still pretty solid. I actually think, and Missouri's good too, mind you. I've been really big on Missouri all year long. Been big on Brady Cook, big on Luther Bird and all those guys. I think Alabama's going to pound them. I think that they're going to way cover the spread here. So I'm going to take Alabama minus the 13 and a half.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against that logic there, Kyle. I just how much do you continue to put your trust in Bama? I guess is kind of my thing. I still trust Bama because I have a future of them to make the SEC title game. So I don't know how great I feel about that, but to me, I like the over here, and this also depends on if Brady Cook's going to be healthy. I know he came back against Auburn there in the fourth quarter, so I know he got banged up there in the he like didn't play for like 2 straight hours because of halftime and things like that. So he ends up coming back. Missouri ends up outlasting Auburn there, but give me the over here. I just think that I'm not super big on Bama's defense still. I just think there is some holes there. And if Missouri can kind of get back to what we've seen earlier in the year, I think 55 and a half. I think, maybe 37-30 type of game here. So you like Bama, I'll take the over.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see what else do we got here. This is kind of an interesting one. 2:30 on FS1. We got Maryland going to Minnesota. Minnesota minus 4, total 45 and a half. I'm going to be honest. I think Maryland's a bunch of frauds. I think that 4-3 record is extremely fraudulent. And I like Minnesota this year. I like Brosmer and what he's brought to the program. And yeah, I think them going away from Ethan Kaliakmanis and actually getting a competent QB is what they needed here. So I like them to win by at least a touchdown here. So I'm going to take Minnesota.
Okay, I'm going on their side. So someone's going to win this one too. I like Maryland.
Okay.
Not saying that Maryland's going to win this game, but this seems like a 3-point game, 2-point game, 1-point game kind of to me. Again, just a kind of a Minnesota Big Ten matchup. This feels like, which it is obviously, but your classic Big Ten matchup here. So I'm gonna take Maryland on the road. I just still don't believe in Minnesota either. So I guess you don't believe Maryland. I don't believe Minnesota. Someone's gonna get a dub here.
There we go. Yep. One of us is going to win, that means.
There we go. We got at least 2 wins on the board here. You just got to figure out which side to take.
Exactly. Exactly. You want to talk about?
I do want to talk about Iowa Northwestern. I think
Yeah.
Iowa dominates this game. I love the 14. I know you don't like to bet on your teams, but Northwestern ain't it for me. I think Iowa can win this at home. I just don't see Northwestern going in there and keeping it within the number. So I like Iowa here minus 14.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Only problem is Cade McNamara is our QB. That's the only thing you got going against you. But
Hey, you got a hell of a running back. Just let
yes.
him cook. Let him
Yep.
cook.
Absolutely. And I really shouldn't be complaining about Cade McNamara when I lived through the Spencer Petras and the Deacon Hill days. So
That's true. You're on the tail end of the quarterback issues. You would think.
I would sure hope so. Yeah. So nope, I like that. Do you want to talk about Rice and UConn?
I guess we can. Give me
I was
UConn.
kidding.
Yeah, give me UConn. I do think this Oklahoma State Baylor is interesting too. I mean,
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, man, 0-4. Ollie Gordon, who I thought was going to be maybe in New York potentially. He doesn't have 500 yards rushing on the year, 6 touchdowns. Baylor, who we thought was going to fire their coach, now comes home. They're 7-point favorites. I don't love that game. I just thought that was an interesting number there down there in Waco.
I think Baylor covers this number. People don't know, or people might not remember, they played BYU damn close. and BYU damn near left Waco with a loss. I think Waco's a tough place to play. I just think Oklahoma State just is not who we thought they were. So I'm gonna take Baylor in this game. I'm gonna take them to cover that 7 points.
All right, I like that. And Gundy, like, is hot seat? I don't know. I don't know. So he's
I
just been there so long.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. He's just been there forever, so it's just kind of hard to get rid of a guy that just has been there as long as he has.
Yeah, just interesting. Oklahoma State, Utah, just two teams who I thought were going to be better than where they are here in Week 9. Just kind of middle of the pack of the Big 12.
Yep. Yep, for sure. Let's see here. We don't have to talk about this game, but I'm just going to throw out this play because I throw it out every week. Kent State team total under 20.5 against Western Michigan. We're riding that again. They only scored 6 against Bowling Green last week, so I'm going to continue to ride those team total unders.
Yeah, that it's almost free money, Kyle. What, you only lost once on that this year, right?
Uh, Twice. I lost. They,
What?
they scored a bunch on Pitt, and then they scored a bunch on Akron, but otherwise it's been free money for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's a still good winning percentage. So
yeah.
Penn State, that some book needs to offer that. When are they going to get their first win? What month is it going to be? What season is it going to be? That should be the bet.
And I don't think it's going to be this season. Their best shot was against Akron, and
Yeah,
they lost to Akron. So
yeah. Looking at next year already. I don't know. That good dynasty team in college football 25.
one of the best dynasty teams, I would argue. Them or Kennesaw State,
Yep.
Louisiana Monroe, one of those teams. Yeah. So yeah, Kent State team total under. Bet it every week. I'm going to bet it this week again.
I love it.
Let's go to this 3 o'clock game that's kind of interesting for me. Oregon State at Cal at 3 o'clock in ESPN2. Cal minus 9.5 and a total at 48.5. I like Oregon State in this one. I might even take them on the money line. I think they can. I think they can go to Cal and win this game. They've really impressed me this year. I had both Oregon State and Washington State to the under for their win total this year, and I think they're going to go way surpass it. So I'm gonna take Oregon State in this one, and I'm gonna take them straight up. I like what they've been doing so far.
All right. I like that. I like the over in this one too. I like Oregon State as well. Oregon State played UNLV tough last week, put up 25 points. They put up 37 points in the week before. Both those were losses. Cal's now lost 4 straight. Now you come back home. I get that, but they just lost 24-23 to NC State at home as well. So I think there's going to be some points scored in this one out there in Berkeley.
Yep. I like that. I like that too. Let's see. 3:15, really good game. We got to talk about this. We got number 5 Texas going to number 25 Vanderbilt. Texas minus 18.5, total at 53.5. I think Texas is going to win this game, but you just don't. It's just a principle pace. You don't bet against Diego Piston Pavia. You just don't do it. It is principle. So I'm going to take Vanderbilt plus the 18.5 because I think they do keep this game. All jokes aside, I do think they keep this game close because I think they've far surpassed everybody's expectations so far this year. But I do think this is going to be a bounce back game for Texas. But I think Vanderbilt does keep it close.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I think we're different sides here. I'm on Texas. I think they bounce back, like you said. I still think Texas is a top 5, top 3 team in the land. So I think they can cover. I think they can easily win this by 3 touchdowns in my mind. So Pavia too. Like if he just threw it more, if he could just complete a couple more passes, 11 TDs, 1 pick. Like that's not a bad dark horse for the Heisman either. He just got to get more yards under his belt there.
Right, exactly. That's actually crazy stats. 11 TDs to 1 INT is just nutty.
Yeah, 1,300, almost 1,400 pass yards, 118 carries for almost 500 passing or rushing yards. So, yeah, nice little 1-2 punch he's got going down there. So, can Texas slow him down? I think they can.
Okay, very good. Well, let's transition to the night slate here and talk about because we got some really really good night games here. Not a great night game, but I got to talk about it with you. 6 o'clock on ESPN. Florida State going to Miami. Miami minus 21 and over under 54.5. Before we even get into this game, did you think at the beginning of the season going into this week that it would be a 3 touchdown spread?
Honestly, I thought it'd be right now. I thought it'd be more. I thought 3 was a little low considering how Florida State's looks. So Miami coming off that shootout to Louisville there, back at home here, 21-point favorites. Cam Ward is obviously looking very very good, but I like the under. Give me the under in this one, under 54.5. I'll stay away from the spread.
Yeah, I think you're actually kind of reading my mind. I thought the same thing. I don't 21, even though Florida State is playing about as bad as anybody in the land, and they actually DJU got benched, which I found hilarious. But um, I think the under's the move too. I think it's going to be a closer game, not as high scoring. So I like that too.
Yeah, if we were doing our snake draft here, I would probably take the first half under. I think I like that even a little more.
Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot actually. I might even tail that.
Let's
Actually, I
go.
won't tail that. Then
No, you got to tail it. You got to tail. We get good
okay,
vibes this week, Kyle. We got to
okay,
get good
good,
vibes going.
good vibes, good vibes. I love it. Let's see. That game sucks.
Yeah, I'm looking at West Virginia, Arizona. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. That game does suck. I'm on
Yeah,
West Virginia just because like I need them for the win total of 6.5. So like you have to win this game. Arizona's not that great. West Virginia, I know you're on the road, but you got to win this game for me personally for the win total. So please win this game and for
yeah,
B Russ.
and for Beerus too, absolutely. Yeah, I was on West Virginia last week too against Kansas State. Yeah, I like that play a lot. But yeah, like I said, that game's gonna. Sorry, Beerus, but that game's gonna suck. And I promise you, I won't be watching that game. So
It's all right. B Russ knows it's gonna suck too. So
uh. Let's see. Oh, we got really good one on NBC. We got number 3 Penn State going to Wisconsin, 6:30 on NBC. Penn State -6.5, over under 47.5. Just based on your vibe, I think we're probably going to disagree on this one. Maybe we won't. If VFC was on, I know we would. I think Penn State wins very handily. I think they take it to Wisconsin. I know Madison's a tough place to play, but I think Aller is still playing pretty solid football right now. That the running back combo they got at Penn State, their defense has been solid. I think going up against a backup quarterback at Wisconsin, I think they're going to handle them pretty good there. I think they can win by a touchdown at least. So I'm going to take Penn State on the spread.
yeah, I'm there with you as well. Camp Randall, tough place to play. So yeah, I can get to the window on that one. I like the under more. I think that's my favorite play in this one. So
Ooh, okay, yeah, 47.5.
yeah, it seems low. It is low, but just kind of feels like the first one to 20, but can it be like 20 to 20 to 16, something like that? So I'm take the under here.
Okay, sounds good.
I guess 20, 23, 20 would work too. So yeah, my
Yeah,
math my math is bad.
no, it's all right. Either way, you get it.
That's fine. Yeah. So first
No,
one to 23 wins this game in the under hit.
absolutely, that's exactly it. Prime time on ABC. That's gonna be obviously Fowler and Herbstreit in the call, so you know it's the best game of the week. Number 8. There we go. I couldn't read for a second there. Number 8 LSU going to number 14 Texas A&M. Texas A&M -2.5, over under 53.5. Any thoughts on this game?
Um, yeah, I've thought a lot about it, and I don't know what side I love, but I think I love the over. Give me the over 53.5. I like LSU's quarterback, Texas A&M. They're playing all right offensively, and I just kind of like Kyle Field just kind of late at night feels like an over type of vibe for me. So give me the over.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind that play either. But you will never see me take my well-earned money and put it on Connor Weigman. You just will. It just will never happen. So
The
I'm
biggest
taking
Weigman hater. Yeah.
huge Weigman hater. I'm taking LSU on the spread. I'm taking them on the money line. I think they go away and at Kyle Field, and I think they win pretty handily. So that's where I'm going to go.
Yep. The battle of the two remaining undefeated teams in the SEC. We'll see who wins this one. It should be a good game.
Yep, absolutely.
It's gonna be a hot game. 85 I saw on the weather report.
Whew.
Hot game.
Yeah, that's the South, baby.
That's the South, baby.
Let's see. Interesting game here at 6:30 on Big Ten Network. Michigan State going to the Big House at the Big Ten Network. Michigan -4, total 40.5. 40.5 is so low, but I think I might take the under. I just don't think either of these offenses have what it takes to score a lot of points in this one. So I'm going to take the under.
Okay, I like that. I like Michigan more, and they can't lose 3 in a row, right? I think this would be 3 in a row if they lost. So coming back home here, I'm gonna take Michigan -4. I'd love to buy it down to -3. I just won't be a coward like that, but I'll take the -4.
That's fair. Uh, Good game on SEC Network at 6:45. We got Auburn going to Kentucky. Actually, this is not a good game, but we'll talk about it anyways. Auburn going to Kentucky. Kentucky -2.5. Total 42.5. I don't know who's a worse QB, Peyton Thorne or Brock Vandagriff. Both of them just stink.
Yeah. I think Peyton Thorne's worse. I think he's the worst quarterback in this spot. I just don't feel like he vibes at all with Hugh Freeze. Like I feel like they're always going at it. And so give me Kentucky at home late night here.
Yeah, I think I'm right. I think I'm right there with you. Vandergrift's not very good, but he is better than Thorne.
Yeah, I
So,
think so too. If you just watch Thorne's body language with his coach, man, like that's another story in itself in Auburn games. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And then let's go to our kind of late games. 7 o'clock on ESPN2, really good one. We got Kansas going to Manhattan to take on number 16 Kansas State. Kansas State favored by 10, total 55 and a half. I think Kansas State could win by 3 touchdowns. I think it's not even going to be close here. So I'm taking Kansas State minus 10.
Yeah, I'm there with you as well. Rivalry game, so I don't know, maybe it's a little closer than that than we kind of think, but KU is pretty banged up. I still think, and unfortunate because I like their head coach there, and again, I'm not super big on their quarterback. He's had a down year, but I thought they'd be a little bit better here than 2-5. But K State, this is a game you just got to win. You just got to win this game and just keep moving in the right direction in the Big 12.
Well, and you got to be a big climbing guy, don't you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But when you start getting a rivalry game like this, in-state game like this, anything can kind of happen. So you just can't lay an egg. Is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's fair. Nope, I agree with that. Otherwise, one more game we got to talk about, or actually, there's a couple more games here I want to talk about.
Yeah.
SMU, number 22 in the country, going to Duke. Both teams at 6-1. SMU minus 11 and a half and an over under of 48 and a half. I tell you what, man, SMU, since they made the decision to bench Preston Stone, just a night and day different team. And I know Duke, Manny Diaz has a lot of great things going with that defense, and it's going to be a tough place to play, obviously, that night. I think SMU can do it. I think they can win by 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to take a minus 11 and a half.
Okay, I like that. I do think SMU is the better team. I think they're better than Duke, kind of all the way around. I just do worry that this is SMU's third road game in a row. So at some point that travel is going to catch up with you. They just went across the country to Stanford, so now they got to come back on the East Coast here. So kind of taking a play out of actions book. Taking the travel into account there a little bit. A spot bet for me. I'm going to take Duke here plus 11 and a half at home.
Okay. Sounds good. One of us is going to win, then that means.
There we go. Again, 3 winners for you guys. You just got to figure out what side to take.
Whose team are you on? Are you Team Kyle or Team Pace?
There we go. There we go.
Yep, you just got to decide that. And then I just got one more game I want to talk about. If there's any other games, Pace, you want to talk about, let me know. But night game in the Big 12, 5-2 Cincinnati going to 5-2 Colorado. Colorado favored by 5.5, total at 57.5. I'm not big on Cincinnati. I'm going to be a Cincinnati hater for a second here. Their wins are against Towson, Miami, Ohio, Houston, who's horrible. UCF was a pretty decent win. Arizona State, not very good. And then obviously they lost to Texas Tech and they lost to Pitt. I'm not big on Cincinnati. I think, like you said, I think Shadur and Travis Hunter and Dion have that team rolling here. Boulder is Corey's going to hate me for saying this, but Boulder is arguably one of the tougher places in college football to play. And I think they're going to be rocking. I think they can win by a touchdown, and I think they could win by even more than that. I'm going to take Colorado on the spread.
Yeah, I like that pick here too. Cincinnati just beat Arizona State, like you said, 24-14. Arizona State had their backup quarterback in, I believe. So if you're just kind of like comparing schedules, Cincinnati went to UCF, won 19-13. Colorado went to UCF, won 48-21. And I think that was just like 2 weeks apart. So Colorado back at home. National media has been off them all year. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Let's see if we can continue to make some noise in the Big 12 here. So how sick would it be if getting the Big 12 championship game? That'd be sweet.
That'd be crazy. Yep, that would be wild. And press will be all over Dion. You know that. And the old heads who hate him are going to be like, oh, that Dion, get him off my screen.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So 10:59, Kyle, the late game, right? Nevada, Hawaii. Yeah, not a sexy game at all. Both two teams 0-2 in the Mountain West, but give me Hawaii at home as a 1-point underdog. I'm going to back the quarterback Shager. Not bad, 13 touchdowns, 17 picks, but this is a late game, right? A chase game for all of us after. Hopefully we do well throughout this Saturday. But again, 10:59, you always gotta bet that late game. So I'm gonna take Hawaii on this one.
And you just know there's gonna be people in the group chat, and this is the funny thing about the group chat. You just know there's gonna be like Our group chat is about 15 guys. You know, there's going to be about 3 or 4 guys up at 1 a.m. talking about that Hawaii game. You just know it's going to happen.
Just yeah, play by play right there. Just sync it up. Just sync it up to the TV broadcast. You'll have these three guys chatting about it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think we covered quite a few games. Any games that we missed that you want to talk about at all, or?
No, JMU Southern Miss. I think JMU's rolling right now. Their quarterback, 16 touchdowns, 1 pick. He looks pretty damn solid. Southern Miss 0-3 in the Sun Belt, 1-6 on the year. I know it's a big number, but it's a kind of an in the weeds play. I like JMU here minus 24.5.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Other than
All
that,
right, yeah,
though, yeah, I think that's it.
okay. Yeah, I think we covered a lot of good stuff there in that 45 minutes or so that we talked about it. So I like it.
Yeah.
All right, well let's round up the show with upset of the week and lock of the week. I did not get the updated standings, so I'm just going to go off of last week's standings. But let's just start with upset of the week. Upset of the week again. Everybody, me and Pace had to choose an underdog of at least 7 points, and that underdog has to win outright for you to get a win. Current standings as of last week: Action and VSC tied with 2. PG, Beast, and Corey tied with 1. And actually, you guys got stuck with the 2 people that suck at this. Me and Pace have not had an upset of the week yet this year.
Oh, brutal, brutal. But we've also gone heavy, heavy dogs. So I'm not an excuse guy, but there's an excuse for us here on the show. We went some big dogs. So
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. So let's go through our upset of the week, and Pace, will start with you.
yeah, I'm gonna go Oregon State. I'm gonna go Oregon State there at 3 p.m. Taking on Cal there. I think they can. I think they can get that done against Cal team that I was high on. They look decent. They've had a lot of travel. Obviously, game day going there against Miami. But Oregon State's look pretty solid too. So this is a familiar matchup for Oregon State, right? Kind of an old Pac-12 matchup for both these squads. So give me Oregon State here in the afternoon to take down Cal.
Okay. Sounds good. I talked about it earlier whenever we talked about that game. I said I'm going to sprinkle it, and I still gonna, but I just suck at this upset of the week, so might as well give me another heavy underdog. Give me Navy take down Notre Dame.
Okay, all right.
That's going to be my upset of the week. Action did submit his since he couldn't be here. He's right there with you. He's taking Oregon State as his upset of the week. So
Okay, all right.
and that could be good for you because he's at the top right now. So
I love being on the side Action's on. So yes, that I'll do that any week.
Anytime Action's on, play me or fade me, and he's like, "Oh, I like that play for Kyle." I'm like, "Yes, that's a good play." And same thing on this show. If he likes my play, I'm like, "Okay, I'm sitting pretty good."
Yep.
All right, well, let's round out the show with lock of the week. Lock of the week again. It's as simple as this: if your lock hits, you get a win. If it doesn't, you get a loss. Current standings: VFC is at 3-2. Pace and I tied at 4-3. Corey at 2-4-1. Action at 2-5. PG at 0-3, and Beast not rated, but if he comes on another show, he'll be rated. He's at 1-1. So let's round out, Pace. We talked about a lot of games. Your lock of the week. Where are you going?
Yeah. I think I'm going to stay with Iowa. I like Iowa minus 14. I think their defense can hold Northwestern under their point total. Under 2 touchdowns, something like that. And I think the running game can get rolling. I know you don't love the quarterback situation there for your squad there, Kyle, but give me Iowa at home to take down this Northwestern squad.
Okay, sounds good. For me, I know we talked about this game and you were on the other side, but I'm going to double down on it. I still think this team is frauds. I'm taking Minnesota -4 against Maryland. I just don't think that Maryland squad is it, and I think that it's something seems weird going on there, and I think Minnesota is doing the right things here. Like I said, I like Brosmer. I like that defense thus far, so I'm gonna take Minnesota -4 at home.
All right, I love it. We gave you guys a lot of picks this week, so hopefully everyone has a good week.
Absolutely, and I think Action saw the same thing as you and I, Pace, because he for his lock of the week has UCF -1. Like I said, there's something fishy about that game. So
yep, I like that. So I thought about taking that, but I'm like, I won't. I'm gonna be on it, but I'm glad Action took it. So there we go.
Yep, absolutely. Well, yeah, Pace, that was good. That was good stuff. I think, we covered a lot of games here. If you liked what you saw in this episode, we are going to continue to try to do Twitter Spaces. Obviously, scheduling them been a little tougher for us lately, but if we can try to get it going again, I think we're gonna try to do that every Saturday morning. So
yeah, I like that. Let me know. We'll be on and follow us on Twitter. So again, thanks for watching.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Fanatics. Tune in next week, and we will discuss week 9, and hopefully we should have enough people that we can do a snake draft for week 10.
Absolutely. All right, Kyle. Thanks again.
Yep. See you, buddy.
Peace.